voice, but the devil gave me style. Friends and family, it is such a joy to be back in Nashville and Music City. Thank you so much for having us. My name is Willi Carlisle. How many of you have seen my dumbass before at some point or other? Thank you so good. Cool. Those of you that have not, I want to go over just a couple of very basic ground rules. They're very simple and they won't be too complicated. Just rule number one is just don't be an asshole. A fight broke out in Cleveland. I believe that you can do better than Cleveland, but you know, the night is young. Rule number two is if there's anything that you cannot hear, feel free to just so gently shush the person beside you, you know what I mean? And if you hear somebody shush, just like pick up a shush and move it along, you know what I mean? Let's just start a shush over here, how about you? No, it gets picked up and it moves through the crowd like a wave, you know what I mean? And then, yeah, you know, some of you didn't do it and that's all right, but now you know. See, so if somebody is like, needs to hear something, I want everybody to have the exact night that they want. I want everybody to like party and get laid and so on. And I don't want anything to interrupt that, but I also want everybody to be able to hear, you know what I mean? So that if you hear a shush, well then pass a shush, and then everybody's an asshole, and this is America, you know what I mean? Okay, that's great. Rule number three is if you know any of the words, I hope that you do sing along and don't drown anybody near you out. That's rule number four, is don't ruin anybody else's time with it, you know what I mean? So if you're a huge asshole like I am, well then maybe don't like yell in somebody else's face, right? That is all the goddamn rules. I'm so sorry that I have to say them again. I blame the city of Cleveland. Friends, I tried to come up with some bullshit to say about America before I started singing at shows these days, this year, and I realized that I have no idea what a whole lot of America is, that my conception of America from the viewpoint of living inside of a van for most of the year is knowing that I'm in the greater Cleveland metroplex by the capacity of by the location of a Taco Bell and a Burger King next to a Holiday Inn Express. So much of America has been taken away from us, so much of it is made into this corporate monolith where every single city is the goddamn same, where every single new constructed apartment building is the exact goddamn same. What I want to do a set for is what I think of as the actual America, wilder, more indigenous, more impoverished, dirtier than any place I've ever been. I want to dedicate this set to the dirty parts of Nashville that still remain, that you be a critter worth loving from tooth to tail. After 29 years, I can say I never thought it'd turn out this way. Stumble and a stutter and a cry. Ain't gonna figure out a reason why. Song hurts my throat and the banjo cuts my side. Hear the road crying out through the railroad ties. Road crying out through the railroad ties. They're singing, well, of your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go. And the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. My friends in Arkansas, all alone in Maine, 6 to 1, half dozen's the same. Back bay sailing across the Great Divide, call it Mississippi deep. Rappahannock wide, angels wings on a Walmart sign. Angels wings on a Walmart sign. Not to mean that ironically, because I think that Walmart should raise the minimum wage to at least $15, if not $20 an hour to America's workers employer. I told them, well, of your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go, and the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, Kansas City Rib Shack, baby, you're mine. Give me the pig, the cow, and the swine. My weights, my love, my shimmy, my shine. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. Damn, I found Jesus in a barbecue line. I told him, well, of your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go. And the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Well, I'd like to see the world in living color. One color's just the absence of the other, to get the whole spectrum of horror and elation. Call good time numbers at a Conoco station. Good time numbers at a Conoco station. And tell them, well, of your light don't show. Down by the truck stop highway glow. Lord knows where I go. And the road cries out what the rocks don't know. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Give it to me. Road cries out what the rocks don't know. Very fine. Thank you so good. We're going to follow that up with pansexual country waltzes you hear on the radio so much. I have the tune so bad that we're going to stop. Isn't that ridiculous? Nashville, professional music city. All right, very good, nice. You know, this is a Morgan Wallen cover, actually. He just doesn't know it yet. I've been throwing chairs off of rooftops trying to, with little messages, the lyrics of this song, you know. No, I wouldn't let him play it. I'm tweeting that to Jason. I love that I'm here. I can just make all the inside jokes. Take it away, Sophie. He's calling me up. He's sure I might love him. I'll only answer when I'm drunk to the lees. We talk about Memphis, living so rough, and the strength in his voice makes me weak at the knees. Not sure what I saw before I looked in his eyes. We ain't star-crossed just 'cause stars might align. We ain't proper high lonesome, though we're almost too sad to be true. What happened in Memphis made too much sense. There's a part of my life she don't know exists. Why is living a lie more easy than life on the fence? Why is living a lie more easy than life on the fence? I ain't crying in public till it's perfectly lovely. I tried to fit in, I just can't in your town. I swear I ain't trying to become nobody. I tried to be hip, but it's tearing me down. No time without tempers. Skip dinner, skip breakfast. Drove halfway to Texas, thinking no. I'm bound and determined I could unlearn this. She made me shine in new. What happened in Memphis made too much sense. There's a part of my life she don't know exists. Why is living a lie more easy than life on the fence? Why is living a lie more easy than life on the He's calling me up. He's sure I might love him. Why is living the life more easy than life on the fence? Thank you, friends. It's nice to have a rough start so that we can have a rough evening and then we can all treat each other rough later, isn't it? So, how many of you are from shithole towns? I've got a few of you, that's good. I'm from ugly towns. I'm from bad, ugly towns as well. And the reason I bring that up is because I want you to know that I have no disrespect for shithole towns. But I did know a guy who told me this story about the city of Texarkana. And Texarkana is in southern Arkansas, but if you spit on it, it might slide all the way down into Louisiana. And if you gave it a swift kick, it might jump over into Texas. And somehow it manages to combine the worst aspects of Texas, the most square-toed and crispy hat aspects of Texas, the worst parts of Louisiana and the worst parts of Arkansas into one ugly little town. And this guy didn't even have the grace to get clean in the relative metropolis of Texarkana, but rather in a dry county, kitty cooter or catty corner to that place. This is for him, and like most country songs, this is ostensibly about mama, but mostly about chickens. It's dry county dust. Preserves in mason jars. Dry county dust has got me feeling kind of low. Cats on the windowsill, I'm feeling shaky still. Mama's in the kitchen singing sweet by and by. She can't quite hold the tune, she's dancing around the room. I disappoint her, she'll still carry on. Comes in so many shapes. I've been traveling in anger, trying to ditch the shapes. If you get high in Texarkana, you can still wake up in gray haze. That's mom in the kitchen singing sweet by and by. The fox got the chickens, y'all. Was too late, I never heard him squall. There's one golden pullet left, she's the queen of the roost. Sitting on her compost pile, looking out her one good eye. I'm trying to hold her, she won't be held. She's my softy girl, too soft in an angry world. Old fat flesh is slaughtered, hollow wings will break. Thank God forgiveness comes in so many shapes. I've been traveling in anger, trying to ditch the shapes. If you go blind in Texarkana, you can still wake up in grace. That's mom in the kitchen singing sweet by and by. She's alright with this ugly brown dress. We sent the old girl along with guitars and gospel songs. There's things a microphone just can't pick up. Something like quiet prayer that comes from everywhere. Something like alone, you know you never can pay back. Thank God forgiveness comes in so many shapes. I've been traveling in anger, trying to ditch the shapes. If you die in Texarkana, you can still wake up in grace. That's mom in the kitchen singing sweet by and by. That's mom in the kitchen singing sweet by and by. Chickens in the backyard, preserves in mason jars. Dry county dust has got me feeling kind of low. Thank you so much for being out here on a Monday night, on a school night. I appreciate it so much. We visited a college recently. It was weird. We went to Eastern Tennessee State University, and some of you went there. They were about 40 people that were studied to be bluegrass majors, and they let me talk to them, and that blew my mind. It was great. Grady was saying he was going to do a shotgunning beers seminar. Then we didn't get to that. We had to do that privately in the hotel room later. But we revisited to make sure that our chops were up. You know what I mean? I've been trying to love everybody. I'm not very good at it. Well, I mean, I'm good at it on the dating apps, but I'm bad at it everywhere else, you know. I still find that people piss me off pretty regularly, and I can be quite unfair to people. I'm mean to people without recognizing it, just like off the cuff, you know what I mean? I'll be having a bad day, I'll act shitty to somebody, I won't even clock it sometimes, but there's a group of people I'm always mean to with great intention, and it's magicians. And I've never trusted them. I hope not to, and it's partially because I think that they're in a very perilous position financially and everything else. You know, I think they've made a bad career choice. Imagine me standing in front of a room full of people studying bluegrass, paying money to study bluegrass, and saying, "Now don't be a magician." That would be fucked up. You would have made a terrible career choice, bluegrass banjo musicians. What I mean is that I have too much in common with them. That's why I don't like magicians. Anyways, I decided that maybe I needed to reckon with this fact, so I wrote this kind of imaginary song about how I want there to be more magic in the world, even if I'm afraid of magic. This is Tulsa's Last Magician. Got it started for, pulled a quarter from his own ear and spun it on the floor. Said there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard. So he saved up all his quarters and he bought a deck of cards. And he learned ragtime piano, though his teacher thought him slow. He got a black belt in karate from a pawn shop video, and he practiced all his worst mistakes in a dirty bathroom mirror. And when his parents drank, he learned to disappear. And his classmates thought him funny, good at sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they just couldn't understand. Oh, it's hard to tell the whole truth of a family sawed in half. That's why Tulsa's last magician left his home so fast. Down and out in Reno, gone broke in Santa Fe, turning tricks on Los Sueños out in California. But he pushed him up against the wall, said, "Buddy, get a grip." So he learned to set himself on fire on the Las Vegas Strip. And he wandered down the Temple, blew everybody's mind, cause the crowd was cheap and easy there on beer and blowing wine. He said, "I wonder where my dollar went, had the flower bloom so fast." He said, "I can't reveal my secret, they rarely failed to ask." And the crowd all thought him funny, good at sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they refused to understand. They demanded explanation when the card pulled was their own. That's why Tulsa's last magician lost his faith and headed home. Like his second foster dad, and free range all the rabbits that were living in his hat. His investments all went swimmingly, had the cash on hidden strings. His promotions were a certainty, could make the numbers sing. Now time and space is easy, the magic to control. Still it was 40 years of working before he noticed he was old. Now his way escape and act is just untying both his shoes. And most days he's in his easy chair yelling at no one quite gets quite who you are, like you're a cobbler or mechanic in this age of flying cars. If you think that you see right behind what's right before our eyes, you might be a small town's last magician in disguise. And we need you to be funny and be good at sleight of hand, 'cause there's a grand finale we can't hope to understand. Yeah, there's a 1 in 52 chance it's real magic and it's true. Won't you please help us believe? Won't you please help us believe in you?
We have all the critters on stage. That's why we have this crazy backdrop, and by crazy I mean it is house paint on canvas and on plywood, and we're proud of it because of that, because it was fun to make.
Who painted it?
The same person that did the album cover, their name is Whit Stone. They're a tattoo artist out of Joplin, Missouri. And so if any of you, I don't have any tattoos. You don't put decals on a Cadillac, but you don't brand a mule either, so take with that what you will. But if you need to get a tattoo, Whit Stone in Joplin, Missouri, it's only a 9-hour drive. You know, just come on. There's a lot of failure on this record, and that's one of the reasons I like it, is because I've been used to failure my whole life. It's nice to be able to sing about it. In this case, I failed to move out onto an intentional community when I really wanted to. During COVID, I wanted to change my life entirely, and I was going to move out to very rural Arkansas, and it turns out that anarchists are disorganized. I did not know, but I learned the hard way, right? In fact, these people were so disorganized and set in their ways in this really lovely and free way that they wouldn't have even called themselves anarchists. You know, if you were like, "Are you guys anarchists?" They'd be like, "That sounds like it's an organization. I don't want to be a part of that. I don't want to be affiliated with any of that nonsense," right? It's kind of like being a Unitarian or something. If you ask a Unitarian, like, are you a Unitarian? They should be like, "I don't know." Anyhow, so out there, I learned a lot of stuff about myself, a lot about living and a little about love, as Jesus once said. But really, there were a bunch of ways of thinking and being that I hadn't ever actually encountered that involved like this true radical freedom of totally providing for yourself in a land totally deprived of social and civic services out in the way rural Ozarks, the last place to be electrified, the last place to get the internet, the first place for conspiracy theories to foment and take advantage of underprivileged people. I mean that dearly. There's also a beautiful part of people's minds that has been untouched, if not entirely untethered from some of the bullshit of modern society. As I realized that I was not fit for that life because I'm not nearly as good at swinging a hammer as I am swinging a banjo, I decided I needed to write songs about it. So this is for all that. It's called Critterland.
Well, I could have been a businessman. I was too hot-headed, plus I never had the money. Plus I kinda got arrested. My sweet old folks thought I'd make a pretty decent one of those. And I still live the kind of life where people judge on your clothes. Now it's 40 miles back road on all the rain tires. That little blue hymnal sitting open all the while, singing songs to a God I've met but do not know, making wagers on the critters that we see crossing the road. The sparrow on the wing taught me to find you, and the possum knows her own mind more than I do. I'm here for all the love that I can't stand. tongue. But the propane gently sputters, there's spring water in our tap. Oh, why can't we feel the peace of the sweet dog upon our laps? Oh, the granny witch and herbalist have remedies for us. It's a tincture and a prayer poured down the holler of our guts. On the homestead in the pine beds we've grown our holy power. Oh, laying bare like the critters there are my love and hour. Yeah, it's there on the way to taught me to sing for you. And the blossom keeps your young closer than I do. I'm here for all the grief that I can't stand. Take me to Critterland. Oh, I never thought I could love like this. You might call me queer or communist, but I'll go along to get along, Lord. It feels so right. 'Cause why have a God if no one is saved? I think love is a burden. It ain't brave. I'll live and die forever there, right there in that divide. 'Cause it's hard to say what I have learned from all these hills and hymns. Oh, we're dying and we're singing. I love and we've sinned. And when marauders come, 'cause the apocalypse is nigh, I want my rifle on my shoulder, my lover by my side. I want to be the kind of man that could stand his ground and die. Take my fiddle and my good hat, I'll go out in style. I'm gonna do it for my family, not for glory or a god. In the war that's raging between the haves and the have-nots. Yeah, the sparrow on the wing taught me to fight free. And the blossom keeps your teeth sharper than I do. You should bury me where I make my last stand. At the battle of Critterland. At the battle of Thank you so much. So there's also, I buried the lead there because there's a functional part of that song. It's like the hokey pokey, except you do it later. That is that we used to play this game when we were trying to move out there, where when you started to go so far out of the country that it was more the critter's place than your own, you know, you start to see more animals and people. We would play a game called Critter Critter, where if you saw a creature running across the road, you could point at it and say Critter Critter, kind of like Slug Bug or something, and then whoever did that first got to assign somebody to take off an article of clothing and chug their beer. So I offer that to you freely, those of you that are going downtown later. Well, there's this concept called epigenetics that I've been reading about. Anybody familiar with this term, epigenetics? A little bit, maybe. It's like a $2 way of saying I'm sad because my grandpa was sad. You know, I might be an alcoholic because my dad was an alcoholic, that sort of thing. You know what I'm saying? There's this idea that we pass on pain down generations, and we might even pass down ideas. As I've been looking into this concept, I've been kind of realizing that we only focus on the bad shit, and we don't ever there's no theory of epigenetics or whatever the hell it's called that just says, hell yeah, man, it's good to be alive. I can't believe that they got it on so that I could get it on, you know? They make it all kind of complicated and sad when the gift of life is singing and dancing and being in love and so on. They don't ever talk about passing that down, but somewhere a monkey had to figure that out and pass it on to his ancestors, right? So this is called the Great Depression, and I mean it in both ways. The Great Depression in the 1930s, that our ancestors had to fight to get us out of a shitty situation so that we could be here to fight to get ourselves and the people that we love out of shitty situations, and also, you know, an internal state of a Great Depression. There is trouble in the darksome sky. He saw it as a boy from great granddad's covered wagon.
wagon from the Crocs of Illinois, or the promise of daffodils amongst the hard limestone. They carved the die of fortune out of buffalo bones. They all wandered o'er the salty seas, the prairies wide and roar, just to make a foolish man like me that's darkening your door. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. From the needle-pricking mothers that were never taught to read, to the barefoot hungry soldiers that enlisted at 16. Oh, in my gun basement I still find great relief that on the lamb and on the dole they counted themselves free. I have hustled towards the overpass to sleep there in the rain. I've settled with my pocket knife to carve out all their names. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. From the jailhouse on the border to the hold beneath the ship, to the wheat fields out in Oregon, to the first night that we kissed. From the darkness of the coal mine to the brightest factory floor, to when our kin a better life is still worth dying for. And I still cry my eyes out every time I dare to touch the spirit. And if this is our small lot in life, I'm gonna love it like I mean it. If the Great Depression made us, there's no need to despair. I won't waste a single moment of the work that brought me here. Oh, the blood is strong with victory that brought us our despair. And I won't waste a single moment of the love that brought me here. My grandmother taught herself how to read in the Great Depression because nobody would teach her how to read. And I think about that all the time. Every time I have something to complain about, it's like, oh right, I'm living in a golden age, and I'm still, for some reason, being forced to live off the labor of the third world. And my grandmother had to grow up in the third world, and so now for some reason, somewhere out there in the Sudan, my grandmother or somebody that just like my grandmother is digging for a piece of a thing so that I can have a thing for no money. You know what I mean? That's a pretty, that's the way I keep thinking about the 21st century, is that hopefully our task is to, like, you know, make the world a livable place for everybody, because we have enough, goddammit. You tell me that there's a piece of plastic that you really need more than you need somebody to have, you know, food in their belly. It's a tough trade-off, and it's not any one person's fault. It's like great big corporations' fault. Anyways, am I getting political? I was told not to. I spent a lot of time out in the rural Ozarks when I was out there trying to live. I went to church a lot because it was how you got to know people. It was also how you got lunch from the old biddies. I don't know how many of you are strictly old biddy lunch churchgoers, but you know how it probably is, right? It's that if you don't go to church, you don't get lunch. If you don't get lunch, you go home hungry. It's a very simple formula. But while I was there, I fell in love with the Heavenly Highways hymnal, the Baptist Blue hymnal, and a bunch of beautiful piano arrangements in it. So I always wanted to write a hymn of my own that was for some stuff that I believed in. So this is a hymn that I wrote called I Want No Children. It's for the idea that you don't have to have children to be a worthwhile person, and nobody has to have kids, and nobody should be made to. Yeah, here it is. You ready, so?
silver dollar. Time to introduce the band, I suppose, these freaks that I get to bring with me. To my right, your left, is the Doctor of Love, a veritable hagiographer of Midwestern Chinese restaurants, up to and including the worst buffets to the finest establishments that Southern Missouri can offer a boy. A man that does not like Jell-O, but is the secret admin of your dad's Busch Light Drinkers Anonymous Facebook group. The hottest thing to ever shit behind two heels, a man who looked at a classroom full of bluegrass students and said, I dropped out of school because I wrote a paper on the Beach Boys and that was all I needed to do. My friend, Grady P. Drug. To my left, your right, a master of the clothed foot and the naked foot. A performer on the 5-string fiddle adds an extra string to the fiddle even though you don't necessarily need it and you didn't even know about it until I just told you. Weighing in at 350 pounds of pure goddamn energy, my friend Sophie Mae Wellington. And we don't have a band name because they didn't like the South Missouri Twinks very much. We got to come up with one. If you have any recommendations, you can write them on the back of a card and throw it at me. Is anybody in the room currently really, really mad at love, like conceptually? Okay, we got a couple. That's all right. That's good. Just like maybe I've been mad at love for a long time, and when I was particularly pissed off, like as a very young man, somebody came up to me and was like, "Why are you mad at love?" And I was like, "Because it did me wrong." Right? That's the feeling that you get is like love doesn't do you right. And then they said, "Oh, the binding force of the universe has it out for you in particular." And I had to be like, "Man, fuck." Because it doesn't help to know that the binding force of the universe doesn't have it out for you, and that it's your own fault that you're not doing love right. You know, doesn't help at all. But I don't feel any more enlightened than I did when I wrote this angry love song. And I'll share it with those of you that are love struck in particular. Here, you in the center that were really loud. This is for you. This is singing knives. When you touched me that night, I saw lights and cold steel reflections. Tell me what's the point of living and feeling so loveless? Nothing helps me hold a job down, darling. I think I'm hopeless. 'Cause I worked at the foundry for 6 months, and I dated your friends, they're all dumb punks. And the flowers in bloom and your cheap perfume, I thought it was too nice to be much. Jack or Jim or me or him, we used to swipe your iced tea. I used to show up late and stone, just praying you'd forgive me. Now I clean up all right, it's not like you never noticed. Nothing helps me hold a job down, darling. I think I'm hopeless. 'Cause I don't care to work on a Sunday. I drive gravel for miles across some site. Don't tell me some lovers take a back road to town. You know I like to drive all night. Well, a poor boy finding you was like buying a lottery ticket. When you said I couldn't hold you, I told you we ought to forget it. I don't care to be happy, so I wanna let you down. I swear I don't give a shit, no I spit when I pass your hometown. 'Cause I waltzed at your sister's wedding, and I showed up your father's right hands. But if you set candles and pictures on rings, they don't fix an angry young man. When it comes to the bone, there's a stone in my throat to sing it. I had to carve out a home of my own, no one's forgiveness. When I close my eyes, I don't try, but I still see us naked. That all was so wrong, but I thought that we could still make it. Oh my Lord. I wish I felt more compassion for the little jerk that I used to be. But I just don't. I just would be mean to him. Because he would be insufferable and then be cruel. And, you know, I don't think we have to be, you know, there's like all this stuff about healing your inner child. I think my inner child just needs like a noogie and a job. I do, I really. And that's a form of self-care as well, you know what I mean? Just being like, you know what, younger self, buck up. You had every advantage. You decided to play banjo. Maybe I'm too focused on my message to the youth of America this week. I don't have anything to say to the youth of America. Patterson Hood says he has no message for the youth of America, but wear a rubber. Be careful. I always like that one. We're going to do one about living in your van. This is for everybody that's doing the fashionable homelessness thing that is now includes just looking for a goddamn apartment all the way out in East Nashville at this point. As the apartments go up in Murfreesboro, this goes out for all of us that will be living in our cars sooner or later. I will see you out there. Just the van line. minimum wage. I look fairly well twice and act half my age. I'm looking for somewhere that can handle the rage of a young man on the run. With rarely paid taxes and shitty insurance and a glove box full of summons and warrants, and I finally tuned to wish things were that weren't. You could say I was looking for fun. So I walked no one, ran no tram. I bought 2 pints of whiskey and 30 cans of beer and bottles and eating from cans. But you can't call me a homeless friend, 'cause I live in a van. They call it van life. I've been told this. It's my life. I've been sold this. It's my life. Nail it up. Let's blow this. Well, the 7-Eleven is a sure bellyache. I subsist on this beer, wake and bake. Talladega to Chicago's lake. I'll be real good country. All the girls from Chickamauga to Pasadena. Pushing that thing like a maniac and get tipped out like a stripper. And singles and crack. Woo! Uncle Joe would fun damn track. It's a fine life. I've been sold this. It's fine line between having to and choosing it. Let's roll it up. Let's roll this. Blow some smoke, GPD. And I'm pretty sure that I prefer the van life. I've been told this, it's a fine life. I've been shown this, it's my life. So having to choosing it. Let's roll it up, let's roll it down. It's a big break new town, same old night, the whole world over, whole world over. Sitting sad, wondering why never top machines alive. Oh, let's roll it up. Let's roll it. Oh, that's so much fun to do. Good God. I'm going to take it down a notch. Is that all right? Will you stay with me if I do? If not, that's okay. I don't need you can fight me later. No, I don't actually want to fight. My fighting technique is the duck and hug. It's worked a good number of times. They're always mad at me for the same thing. I always slept with somebody that they liked.
Well, it's like duck and hug is like an invitation. I'm glad I'm being taken seriously. So I'm going to say a lot of fake things on stage tonight. That wasn't one of them. I'm not all that invested in the truth. I'm too much a student of history, you know what I mean? I want to do a song for terrible fathers. I don't have a terrible father. I have a father that did his best. I don't know that anybody has a terrible father if they did their best, but I always wanted to write a song for terrible fathers. You know who you are. It goes out to you. It's also for the children that love them, no matter what they do. I had to play this for my own father, and it was weird. And I expected it to be weird, and it was just that weird. Sort of like going to your girlfriend and saying, "Hey baby, I wrote you a song." And then seeing her be excited, and then you go, "I've been cheating. I stole $20 from her wallet." That's going to be on the next record. But in the meantime, it brought me and my dad closer to be real honest about a bunch of hard shit. And, well, if you can be in touch with people, I think it helps. It can be nice. This is called The Arrangements. Takes place at a funeral. He was dead inside my head long before he died. So making the arrangements felt natural, felt nice. No medicine for saving him from cigs and booze and salt. Feels pretty nice to say. Thought his sadness was my fault. So let's pour one out for the bastard. Still sad when assholes die. You can pour your drink out in the sink. Go on, live your life. I hear his drunk footfalls through bedroom walls. I find comfort in the sound. But I'm my own father now. I was dreaming, I was foolish. The first time that you saw me, I said your eyes were like a Jersey cow, your tongue so clean and country. And all those drunk disasters, did you ever feel the same? Do you think I want these feelings? Chose my face and chose my name. So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. It's still sad when bad love dies. You think I'm full of shit and you're over it. So take the last word in my pride. 'Cause I'm my father's spitting image, and I spit upon me. So the old man is still here. And I know I'll go soon. My heart's also not that strong. It got written in the stars about 1,000 light years long. But I feel it all start to dissolve in the cemetery's rain. And I know about 1,000,000 men that feel about the same. So let's pour one out for the bastards. Even bastards need their friends. You can pour your drink out in the sink. You got the last laugh in the end. The arrangements in order. I might plan upon it now. 'Cause I'm my own father. So don't ask about blame or forgiveness. I ain't one for choosing sides. He was full of shit, now we're over it. I'm glad that we survived. I see the earth did not crack open. No hell on top of clouds. It's all very fun to work out your BS in public with people. So, thank you for doing that. I had to, this song has some name drops in it, and I had to clear it with people. But I forgot to ask one person, and they're not in the audience tonight, so I'll name it. I named John O'Roberts later in this song, and I just want to apologize publicly to John O for telling everybody his business. And then he had to make clear on the internet, like, hey man, that's not my business. It's like, I know that, yeah, it's okay. I know that you know that we all know the cops use Instagram. Which is to say, I also wanted to give a shout out to my friend Benjamin Todd, who's out here tonight somewhere, but because he's in it and didn't blame me for anything. I appreciate that. There's some people misheard some lyrics in this song. It has the wonderful establishment of Bojangles in it, and some fellow northerner of mine didn't know what a Bojangles was, and so they wrote down the lyrics on like ultimateguitar.com as the line is, I packed a bowl in the Bojangles, and we've all been there, right? But he thought it was, I packed a ball of meatball Jangos. So if you have any meatball Jangos, I want them. If we can maybe figure out what it means together. Friends, I'm still here because I've been called by a higher lonesome. I've been turned around in Tidewater, all alone in Pueblo. Been driving with a death wish down the mountains on my phone. Half the places I've been might be laced with psilocybin. Been dreaming of a country I saw at the rodeo. Back to bowling in Bojangles, cause Tennessee's so cold. Charlottesville by sundown's a nightmare to behold. There's an old-time name with a twisty name, I couldn't read it if she wrote it. She's got a black powder revolver, wants to see if it's still loaded. I've been called by a higher lonesome than low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, outlaw life looks pretty wholesome when you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. Codependence, law and Al-Anon, they all know how I felt for you. Felt it in my guts before 2 steps in Philadelphia. With every coin the joiners get, they're farther from the pain of it. With all the hurting that we did, it's a shame no coin will pay for it. Think I fell in love again on a walk in City Park. Yoderowski on the tiny screen at second base by dark. And I figured I should let it go, give it a couple days. A ton of bricks in Minneapolis, she don't know my last name. I've been called by a higher lonesome than low as low can be. You can write it on my tombstone, outlaw life looks pretty wholesome when you pay the price in foolishness it takes to get you free. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. Darkness coming at me in a Jeff City motel. There was writing on the mirror saying you fucked up, so go to hell. And Cormier's pills were on me still, and her letter just half read. By the time the sun was up, I just got breakfast instead. I wish I could call the old folks that aren't with us anymore. I feel Granny dancing recklessly at the Freud Country Store. And the artist has his suffering, and the gods will have their pain. By the time the ride is over, sure I'll ask to ride again. See the snowfall in Wyoming, strung out on Jono's Cove. Leave a mailbox in Nebraska, so I know that Laura knows. She can write a letter once a year, say that we're still close. I can put my sins on Benjamin, hear the songs he wrote. I don't want to hit rock bottom, just to see how deep it goes. Shot right on 6 feet under, so I ain't afraid to go. Proving fact it is as lovely as can be. Higher lonesome, kill the bitter parts of me. I've been called by a higher lonesome, kill the bitter
All right, thanks, friends. I'm going to give these twinks a breather and do one Acapulco, if that's okay. I am not an American outlaw. That would be nice. But I get angry mostly when my chamomile tea gets cold, or when my phone rings and it's somebody I don't want to talk to, but then I still pick up the phone, you know? And so I got really pissed off. I get pissed off at this kind of outlaw country branding when there's nothing to show for it. I don't like conversations about authenticity because I want rather to fully admit that I am in drag, and so is everyone else. But sometimes there's something about that like outlawiness that's like, no, I won't prove it, but I will be kind of mean to you in the grocery store. You know what I mean? And I don't really understand. So I wanted to write a song that I felt like was about the vicissitudes of actual outlawdom, you know what I mean? And there was this great story from Arkansas that I wanted to tell. I learned it by going to fish fries and playing banjo. When I got to Arkansas, I just started taking every gig that offered, and if a fish fry in like Booger County, Arkansas says, please come play, you go do it, right? So I was sitting on a hay bale and I heard these old guys beginning to talk about this story that they heard that happened in the 90s, long time ago for me. Yeah, I apologize. Some of you just dated yourself. That's all right. You can also date each other. You heard the groans. Now you find one another. Yeah, it's the third time's the charm. You know, third marriage is good. While I was out there was these rumors of this outlaw sheriff named Ralph Baker. And this guy, Ralph Baker, knows not only the sheriff of Booger County, but he also ran one of the largest drug growing and running operations in the upland South. So, yeah, I know it's a good. One hand feeds the other, right? Like many Northerners do, and is happening all over the South now, a guy named David Mack, a hippie from Michigan, thought that he was the first asshole to have the bright idea to try to grow weed in Arkansas's terrible soil. It's actually incredibly good for weed and incredibly bad for all other cash crops. So he came down from Michigan with a bunch of California seeds and thought that he was going to plant them and make a fortune because nobody thought of this. He ran directly into the enormous operation of the outlaw Sheriff Ralph Baker, right? And this is more or less the story that transpired with some details changed to titillate the living and honor the dead. It's called The Money Grows on Trees. I smoked my first joint in my 16th year. It was the same time that Ralph Baker became the sheriff around here. The county clerk probably thought it weird how far the ballot box was off. In the Ozark Hills, in the country of God, we know the kind of money that Prohibition brought. So when Ronald Reagan made a war on pot, he made outlaws out of us all. I stole heirloom seeds from Humboldt soil. I got the Maui Wowie, the diesel, and the California gold. But the White Widow smokes the smoothest, I'm told, in the hills of Arkansas. Now, miles from any blacktop road, on a couple hidden acres with a mobile home, a short ways away from where the sheriff was born, I started my first industrial-scale marijuana grow. With 20-watt bulbs and styrofoam, with bush hogs, shovels, and a mile of hose. They warned me at the hardware store. They said, the law knows what all you hippies grow. But hauling chicken shit in my junked out truck, I would sell anything for a greasy buck. Hell, I'm Sam Walton, I'm J.B. Hunt. I'm a job creator, boys, I'm a dangerous one. Oh, hippies, hillbillies, won't you gather round? A good man murdered, a bad man drowned. The cops are all moonshiners now, but the money grows on trees. Yeah, the money grows on trees. And we're going to do this sing-along style. You're going to do that with me. Yeah, the money grows on trees. Then again, yeah, the money grows on trees. I met Sheriff Baker in the White River Basin. I was staring down the barrel of his Smith & Wesson. He cuffed me up and he took me in and I figured I would fry. But a Huntsville jailhouse is not a place for me. 2 days later, Baker let me go free. But he said from now on he would be taking a piece like the old days. And I knew I'd have to pay the man off good. There were these long-haired hippies living all over these woods, but none had the firepower that I would with a lawman on my side. And the sheriff was no flat-top pig. He had a knife on his boot. He had a 9 on his hip. He was an outlaw biker. He wore a Mongol stitch. He was known wide and thought of well. So I mouthed off everything I know. How you kill the male plants so a flower can grow. I sent the sheriff on midday raids to rob and steal and confiscate every bit of that competing green gold. And I grew my own sticky bud full of pine and loam. My purple-haired hybrid, my lover, my own. Now I'm a lost boy from a good home. I'm a Booger County CEO. Oh, hippies, hillbillies, won't you gather round? A good man murdered, a bad man drowned. The cops are all moonshiners now, but the money grows on trees. Yeah, the money grows on trees. I shipped my first deal out through the USPS, and the money came back to me as a cashier's check. I thought 10 grand was the best it would get, but boys, I did not know that money grows greed and greed grows wrath. I had 10 flour sacks full of weed and cash, but Baker robbed us of half that stash, left his tracks for us to find. Will you guard your pride? Will you risk your life? Will you clasp your hands and blow on the dice? I had prison on the table. I had to let it ride, but I swore the motherfucker wouldn't fool me twice. A long haul drive with a cocaine grin and a horse trailer full of my finest blend. I struck up a new deal with Armenians, and the payout went sky high. $10 for every dime in the Kings River Valley with the very same caves that hid Cole Younger and a young Jesse James. I couldn't spend all the cash we made. I buried 1 million presidents, 50 G's up my sleeve like a stone cold killer on a plantation house with a great big cellar. I was throwing up dirt with big diesel tillers for a few hundred more pounds. Now the sheriff bought up all the land he could get. I got a black Mustang, he got a red Corvette. The bigger we got, the bigger our heads. Of course somebody came for it. Yeah, the DEA put eyes up in the sky. So we grew hydroponically in the cellars inside. Sipped sweet tea watching the planes fly by because we were too damn big to fail while the sheriff was throwing them off our trail. Now you might curse your bad luck, but of course the federales got a warrant for us. Too bad our safe house got lightning struck. What a wild-ass act of God! Yeah, we were wild-ass acting gods! Oh, hippies, hillbillies, won't you gather round? A good man murdered, a bad man drowned. The cops are all moonshiners now, but the money grows on trees. Yeah, the money grows on trees. I went back to the farm in the dead of the night to try to dig up all the cash money that I never did find. I had a good grow for the last time I got caught red-handed by the federales on the mountainside. Now the rich get richer. That is just how it goes. They can poison you with pills and GMOs, but I did a 10-year bid for just a little smoke because a poor man can't get high because it ain't white-collar crime. Now I got out, but I never pissed clean. I kept slinging that stuff on the low and lean till Baker's side piece, young Billie Jean, said she was going to sell us out. Now there's things that you whisper from ear to ear. Billie Jean up and disappeared, but you better button your lip, buddy, keep it sealed, and take the truth down to your grave. Sheriff Baker got as low as a man can get. Methamphetamines and a pile of debt. His kid is suicide and his wife just left. He said he wanted the end of it, and I guess I could see why. Because all the Hell's Angels wanted our heads for handshake deals and cash for sex. When I found his corpse, he was long dead, dredged up by the riverside, drowned or murdered, no one can decide. Oh, hippies, hillbillies, won't you gather around? A good man murdered, a bad man drowned. The cops are all moonshiners now, but the money grows on trees. Yeah, the money grows on trees. It's too damn to the outlaw way. They don't hire felons here, so I can't go straight. I might end it all myself today. So I robbed the Wally World off MLK, and I'm waiting for the cops to take me away. Can't you see the blue lights coming? Hey, they won't take me alive. It's ashes to ashes, it's dust to dust. I leave in a body bag, but not in cuffs. If it sends my soul to hell, won't you tell my story well? Oh, hippies, hillbillies, won't you gather round? A good man murdered, a bad man drowned. Won't you bury me in the rocky ground where the money grows on trees, where the money grows on trees.
Thank you for your patience with that insanity. A true story takes a little while to tell, you know what I mean? It's harder than some shit you just made up. Well, thank you. Thus die all people that believe in infinite growth, right? Money doesn't grow on trees. And I mean it very much when I make comparisons between Walmart and people that murder people. As somebody from the home of Walmart, I actually really believe. Actually, I'd never tell anybody this, but my favorite Confederate statue was outside of a Walmart in Northwest Arkansas. It's in front of the first Walmart ever made, and it was a Confederate general going like this, gesturing towards the first Walmart ever, and it was as if they were saying, like, look what we've done, friends. See how much we've managed to accomplish? They took that statue down. I think they should have took all of them down except for that one. Anyways, I want to share this puppet show with you, if that's all right. Fellow denizens of the internet, resist the urge to put this incredibly low-tech puppet show on your phone. Okay, thanks. Because it's low tech, and so are we. We don't want to scare the ghosts that just came into the room at the word puppet away, you know? This is for everybody that feels like they weren't born right in the world. It's called Two-Headed Lamb.
A two-headed lamb was by the old newborn, and as she latched on to her mother, the cry rang out double. She was dead in the meadow by the moon. And before the fog had lifted, the coyotes picked her queen. And the old ewe resigned herself to lay in hay and leaves. And as he walked out that morning, the old man didn't look to see. Out of season, sweet persimmons in the old growth tree. And I know scattered o'er the cursed woods are frightening bones to find. The bones of people born too soon, lambs too strange to survive, born only meat for wolves, or born a freak to humankind. Still there were 4 eyes shining bravely in the meadow that night. The old man in a ditch by the meadow in the spring, and as he scratched his head and chuckled, said even God can make a fuck up. Oh, he overlooked an ordinary thing. Oh, he overlooked an ordinary thing. It was twice the robin singing in the old growth tree.
They say that the accordion is the perfect instrument for this political environment. Because you play both sides against the middle. Riders in the Sky said that joke on stage at the Grand Ole Opry, and I was like, fuck yeah, I'm stealing that. That's because I know who my betters are, you know? It was kind of like Disneyland playing at the Opry. It was okay, but they're like trying to make some changes, and I respect that about them. And I like every audience. There's not an audience I don't like. I played at Silver Dollar City, like a really B-rate theme park for a little while, just playing banjo on a hay bale, and I liked it pretty well. I like this better than Disneyland, and I think that it's nice that the establishment, though, is running scared if they're inviting weirdos to do that stuff. It means that they don't know what to do. That's pretty awesome to me. This is the part of the set where I mentioned the suicide hotline. It's 988, and statistically, somebody in your life that you love is likely to maybe need it at some point. And I say that before we do a song that's a pretty upbeat sounding song that I wrote for a guy that wrote suicide letters so complex it required like people with master's degrees to decode them in front of the cops that couldn't understand the big words he was using. He's still alive today despite it all because he got a lot of help. And my dear friend, this is for him. It's called Jay Bird.
to say the phrase, boy howdy. And some of you have it already and you can teach it improperly to your neighbors, and that is the folk process. Okay, let's try it again. Let's say you know how to do it. All right, now let's go ahead and guide it. Boy howdy. Yeah, okay, good. I like to be a little bit triggered when it happens, you know what I mean? I want something that I did that was really bad when I was like in the second grade to come back to me, you know, occasionally when this happens. Okay, let's try it. Boy howdy. Okay, I'm sorry, Dad. Yeah, what else? That's going to be very good. This goes out to the nudie posters that was in my drunk uncle's garage. That's mostly what this song is about, really, on the inside. It's about coming to yourself. We're coming to someone else. I don't know. I figured that part out. What'd she say? 1, 2, 3. Them coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, rivers running low this time of year. Ragweeds on the turnpike, bedrooms, mostly Christmas lights. Sorry friend, I don't lend tools. Boy, pretty good life, got a great little house, pretty big wife. That's me prior pork chop twice a week. Well, hot plate, bed went made cake and never seen heaven that did not have a snake. Well, hot plate, bed went made cake and never seen heaven that did not have a snake. Blue Jay's a mean-ass bird, ugliest song you've ever heard. Get off my porch, I'll kick your ass. Everything she does is magic. I watch her catch a lizard. Careful or its tail will come right off. Boy, I got life, got a great little house, pretty big wife. That's me fryer pork chop twice a week. Well, Swamp Road sweat stain, get money, make a raincoat, beer, tin can, Cadillac, Mustang. Oh, Swamp Road sweat stain, get money, make a raincoat, beer, tin can, Cadillac, Mustang. Show me your feet, so let's go. God trash me where it hurts, born to fish, forces to work. Don't let them tell you what your broken heart's worth. Fire in on the sugar trail, tail feathers on a nightingale, arrowheads and bones is all you'll find. Boy, howdy, bring a life, got a pretty little house, pretty big wife. She lets me wear her underwear anytime I please. Well, she's thick as a horse and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a ball number, bullets wouldn't scatter. She's thick as a horse and a cavalry of bushwhackers. Never seen a ball number, bullets wouldn't scatter. Goddamn, I'll be going to hell. This bar's mostly peanut shells. If you drive, we can play pool. Hot pockets, sweet potato pie, Saturday, Sunday rolling by. Take off your pants, let's watch TV. Boy, howdy, pretty good life, I got a great little house, pretty big wife. Can't recall my ex-wife's name. But the love you lost is right where you left it, or right gone forever, friend, go ahead and forget it. Now the love you lost is right where you left it, or right gone forever, friend, crack a beer, forget it. Them coals are turning bright red, firewood's in the truck bed, rivers running low this time of year. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, you guys got the bear so drunk you passed out. Nice. Yeah, well, so, picking back up. Somebody get him a beer. Somebody get him a beer to steady his legs. Just to steady him for just a little longer. But we're gonna do, we'll do one about drugs. Every song is about drugs if you're on them already. So if you're not on them, then this one truly is.
But otherwise, the whole set's been about it. I wrote this for my mother, and she interrupted it. The first time that she came to a show was like recently, and she just like stopped the show and was like, "Be a good boy." And it was like, "Mom, are you drunk?" And she was like, "No." That's the whole story, is just that even though I wrote a song for my mother and was trying to be very sweet to her when I wrote this 10 years ago, she still was like, eh. And what I mean is that now it's for all of you. This is about waking up outside of a punk house in Southern Illinois. Deciding you have to be a folk singer because you can't keep up with the punk scene. It's called cheap cocaine.
Staring at the sky. I'm so lonely, but I couldn't tell you. I wouldn't want to tell you why.
Oh,